Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Healing yourself is connected with healing others. Yoko Ono. Today, we are pleased to welcome to our studio the authors from the current bestseller anthology, Elevate, The Rise of the Underdog. As you listen, these impactful stories may resonate with you. Sometimes the beginning of our healing journey is to hear our story come out of the mouths of others. Today, our first guest is Stacy Bowers, who is a dynamic entrepreneur and television personality hailing from the state of Mississippi. She credits her mom with cultivating in her a strong sense of humility, community engagement, and vision. From her youth, Stacy was active as a missionary in Mexico, is a world traveler, and has mastered the Spanish and Italian languages. As an entrepreneur, she has gained recognition as a top 50 Black professionals and entrepreneurs in Texas. And as an insurance agency owner, she has earned the distinction of being a top 5 producer in her Mississippi region. She now adds to her accomplishments as a contributing author and to the anthology, Elevated, The Rise of the Underdog. Welcome, Stacy.
Well, welcome, Stacy. How are you this day?
I'm phenomenal. I'm happy to be here with you.
Yes, it seems like you're doing a lot of good things. According to Ruth reading your bio, so you're into a lot of good stuff. You want to just give us a little snippet about all the good stuff you do again?
So I'm a business owner. I've owned my business for over 7 years now. I'm a proud mom of 3. My eldest goes to TSU. So, I'm an HBCU mom. I do a lot of philanthropy. I love reaching out and spending time with the youth and mentoring the youth, especially in allowing them to envision business, owning their own businesses and breaking some of our generational curses, things that we don't think we can be owners. I live in Houston. I'm very happy here. I just finished filming a reality show. Didn't find love, still looking. but this little love underdog is gonna rise too.
Oh yeah, you just keep working at it, and one day when you least expect, voila. So tell us about your participation in the book.
So the way I came into this book venture was through the visionary author Misty. She and I have become very great friends, sisters throughout this process. We both are sorors of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, so we have a bond there. She had reached out to me to actually, contribute as the forward author. And so after I got to, we grew closer throughout the process. And when I turned in my forward, she was like, "No, Stacy, where's your chapter 2?" And I was like, "My chapter? You want?" And at this point, I'd reached out to all of the other ladies and I'd read some of their, some excerpts from their chapters. And so I was looking at writing my chapter already, defeated, you want me to follow up to all this? I don't know if my life is that interesting. And then, I started to go back, which is what this book is about, digging into you and finding those moments in your life where you can overcome things. And little did I know that my story would mean so much and be so impactful to so many. So I am just fulfilled right now. My little heart is flowing.
I'm sure. So what's the name of your chapter?
Oh my gosh, don't make me say how it all started. No. The day that changed my life.
Okay. Wow.
I'm sorry about that.
Girl, please, you're not the first person. Everybody is so involved with the content and the writing. And it's like, what's the name of my chapter?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then it's so many impactful journeys. So I'm thinking of everybody. I have to go through everybody else's, and then I finally get to mine.
So give us a little snippet of what you wrote about.
So my story started when I was on top of the world. Like so many of us see ourselves in moments. It's always a rise before the fall and then the rise again. So it goes back to a time in my life that was a very pivotal time. When I found out I was pregnant, but I was a teenager. I was on my way with a full scholarship to a very wonderful college. And I just saw all of my hopes and dreams dashed in that moment, which was very devastating to me because I come from a single parent home, and I felt like everything that I've ever tried to do in my life was to change the narrative or the image of a single parent mom. And, my mom, she is a wonderful woman. She is my everything. And every accomplishment, everything I've ever done was to really show that single parent moms are good women. They dig deep, they sacrifice for their children, and it's possible that the children of these circumstances can go on to do great things and be great people. And, I'm from a little small town where I'm sure I'm one of the first college graduates from this town, and so it was always like I always had like the burden on me of accomplishing and making not just my family proud, but my community proud as well. So the book picks up there in that moment, how I felt, how I went through treatment from doctors, you know, like really in the trenches there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Because I think that's the story of a lot of women, especially young. You feel like you got this great future ahead of you, and then you get the news that you're pregnant, and
Oh God.
it's devastating.
It was exceptionally devastating for me. And then it was like I just found out I was pregnant. I haven't even come to grips with it. And then I suffer a medical blow. And my chapter goes through that journey with me, and really how I established a mind over matter mentality to survive that moment in time.
I know that's going to be really interesting read, and a lot of other people's stories,
Yeah.
because life is a funny thing. If we knew what was around the corner, it would be so much easier.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, it would either be easier or we just run. It's one or the other.
Absolutely. Ruth, you on mute. Yes. Wow. That is definitely something to read about, because I know you're going to touch somebody's life. You're going to help somebody move through similar of what you went through, because as we all know, our stories definitely makes a difference in many people's lives. And in this world, you're either getting ready to go in it or coming out.
Right.
One of
And
those.
you know what?
Go
And you
ahead.
know what? And you know what? It really touches on or scratches the surface of many of the issues that plagues our community, such as like the maternal and infant mortality rate, the importance of doctors and healthcare and having a support system. And, I really went through that. And, if I wouldn't have had my aunt who knew somebody, I wouldn't even be here today. And,
Mhm.
neither would my children. So I think that it really highlights uh, a part of the reality that Black women have to face. Not only are we incredibly shocked and scared sometimes when we get pregnant, because it's shocking and scary and new, the actual pregnancy, but once we get through that, we're scared because of healthcare and healthcare circumstances that plague our community.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Because I know when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't know whether to be happy or sad. I didn't know how to feel. So, like
No,
you said, no matter where you are, when you get those words, you're pregnant, it's like, oh my God.
right. Because I was married and, after that I got, in my life, I went on to become married and I was blessed enough to be pregnant 2 other times. And it didn't matter if it was planned or not. It was just like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Like,
Right.
what am I going to do? I
Yeah.
mean, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm supposed to do, but what am I going to
Yes, absolutely. And then that for me, I was 39.
do? Oh,
So it was like when my baby came, I had been so used to being footloose and fancy free, so to speak.
yeah.
Stuff like going to the post office was a challenge.
Right.
Mm.
I can't even imagine.
All of those little
I
that you think nothing about. And it's like, I remember going to the post office. I had to take this baby out, because you can't
Oh
leave the
God.
baby in the car. It was just,
No.
everything was just double work, everything.
And it's not like it is now. Like when we were having kids, like it's a struggle. You're struggling to get something in the car, out the car, struggling to construct something to put that thing in. It was just
A lot.
a total inconvenience.
Totally inconvenience. Totally. Wow. I can't wait to read your chapter. It's definitely going to be an eye opener for many women. Your story is probably my story at a different age. Because,
Yes.
but still, it's a story that many women can relate to. So if people want to connect with you, how do they do so?
So I'm about the simple life. So if you don't have my phone number, the best way to connect with me is on Instagram. I do not have the capacity for Facebook, Twitter, all of that. Like just hit me on Instagram. It's Stacy STACY _ BEEE, like threes, like my three babies. Um, yeah, that's the best way to get me. That's the best way to find me and to see what's going on in my life.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We truly appreciate you, and we're looking forward to more collaborations going forward.
I'm happy to be here whenever you want me. It's been an honor.
Yes, same here. We are just blessed to meet all of you ladies from this fabulous book.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Stacy, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Our guest is international author Felicia Brimage, who has always known that God created her to do amazing things in his name. After surviving an abusive relationship, Brimage felt God instructed her that her story was not just meant for her, it was meant to be shared as a source of encouragement for women from all walks of life during their struggles of being broken, torn, used, and abused. Now, Valecia is a contributing author to the bestseller anthology, Elevated: Rise of the Underdog. Welcome, Valecia.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, welcome, my dear. You look like a princess.
Praise God. Praise God.
Yeah, so tell us about Valecia. Tell us what you do and all that good stuff.
Well, my name is Felicia Bremage, and I'm originally from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, born and raised. I have 4 children, 3 beautiful daughters, 1 handsome son, 9 grandchildren, beautiful grandchildren. And I work for a contractor for the Air Force. I work in logistics, in the field of logistics, and I work as a supply tech in the front office. And I've been there for 13 years now. Praise God. I thank God for that. And basically, I love what I do. Um, I I'm a church going lady. I love church. I love to serve, and I love family time, and that's what I love to do. So
Absolutely. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So give us, what is the name of your chapter in the book?
The name of my chapter is called Top Shelf.
That sounds juicy.
Top shelf because we are, as women, we are top shelf. We are top shelf, and we are to look at ourselves as being on top because God made us. He made us fearfully and wonderfully. So we are top shelf level. We go through things in life. We go through a lot of things in life, and some things try to take us down and bring us down. But God lets us know that we're worth something. We're worth more than how people treat us. We're worth more than how the things that we go through in life. So he gave me that, the Holy Spirit gave me that title because he was letting me know that, hey, you're top shelf. No matter what happens, you need to know that you're worth something because I created you with greatness on the inside of you. No matter what, you have the ability to do anything you put your mind to as long as you keep me first. And you'll always be up there on top shelf, elevated to the top shelf. So that's how I came up with that.
So was there one specific incident in your life that led you to classify yourself as top shelf?
Yes. At an early age, I was abused. I was abused verbally. I was abused physically. I was just torn and broken into a million pieces, not knowing because of being so young. First of all, a lot of times we look for love in all of the wrong places. And that's what I did, was looking for love, and only to find out that I got into a relationship with my younger a younger friend. I'm gonna put it like that. Back in those days, he was an alcoholic. He was abusive. He was aggressive. He belittled me, talked down to me. He manipulated me. I mean, it was so much deception. It was so many things that caused me to go into a state of depression. I was depressed. I was pregnant at the time, and I mean, I was just physically abused. And there came a point one day that I called out to God because I didn't know what else to do. I called out for help to God to get me out of this, mess that I had gotten myself into. So when I called out to him, he answered. And I gave my life to Christ, and I just thank God that I can look back on that now today as a lesson, because I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't did that. So I thank God for that.
Absolutely. And it's always something that happened in their life and that we pull through the grace of God.
Yes.
That strengthens us, because everything that we go through, good, bad, ugly, whatever, brings us to where we are today. And all of us have that story.
Yeah.
All of us have that story. It might be different faces, different times, different people, but we got that story.
Yes. And I wouldn't know who I am today if that hadn't happened. If I hadn't gave my life to Christ, if I hadn't went through all of that, I don't know where I would be right now. But I thank God. I don't like that I went through it, but I thank God that he allowed me to go through it to get to the point to where I am today, because I am a daughter of the King, and he let me know that I am a child of God, and I am worth more than anything to him. If I'm not to anybody else, I know that I'm worth something to him. So that makes me joyful and grateful on the inside. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Felicia, you are a gem and you are testimony to anybody out there that's listening or looking at this right now. And I know that your story is definitely going to change a life. And we
Praise.
Indeed.
thank you so much for sharing that, for gracing our stage with your testimony, because it takes courage to put your story out there, especially if it wasn't a beautiful one.
Yeah, because who wants to tell a story of being embarrassed and living miserable and just, I mean, you walk around with black eyes and you walk around with busted lip. Who wants to tell a story like that? I mean, I at one it was a time that I didn't want to, but you know, the Lord said, you know what, you need to share your testimony with people, because there are women and young girls that are going through that right now. They're about to go through that, or they're coming out of it. So you need to share your story, and you need to share your testimony. You need to let them know who brought you out.
That's right.
The issue. Yes.
That's
So,
right.
Bottom line, so many of us would be in the places that we would not like to claim if it wasn't for our faith.
Yes.
right.
Absolutely. And and that's one of the things I heard you say. You asked God for help. You didn't
Yeah.
ask mama. You didn't ask daddy. You didn't ask a cousin. You went straight to God, who can fix it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For one thing, God always has the whole picture, and he knows each one of us by heart, by our hearts. It's not
Yes.
what other people see. Other people judge us by what they see or what they think or what they think they know, but only God has the full picture, and he
Yeah.
knows the heart. He's the
That's
only one
right.
that can read hearts. And your prayer was an honest prayer. God, help me.
3 words.
No conditions, no, if I do this, will you do that? No bargaining. You know,
Right.
when you get to the point of just saying, God, help me, and
Mhm.
mean it, God is all ears.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh,
he's been there all the time, just waiting for us to ask.
Exactly. Exactly.
absolutely. Wow.
Praise
Well,
God.
Valecia, we are definitely grateful to have you here, and we are looking forward to more collaboration. So if people want to contact you to get the book or just contact you because of your story, how did they do so?
They can contact me on Facebook, via Facebook, um, under Valecia Bremage. And also I have a author's page, and it's author Felicia Bremich on Facebook. Also on Instagram, I have my profile name is author Felicia Bremich on that page too.
Okay.
They can contact me through my website, which is www.valiciasbooks.com. And that's another way to contact me.
Okay. Well, we're definitely going to put that out there, and we're looking forward to more collaborations. So thank you so much for coming to Just Mind My Business.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Dawn Leak is a world-class life coach, best-selling author, international speaker, and the CEO of both Finally Free LLC and Dawn Leak Enterprise. Dawn motivates clients to renew their perspective, eradicate fear, and maintain balance. Dawn's mantra is simple: do it scared. Welcome, Dawn.
Hi, how are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, lady, how are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I know you was the powerhouse behind this as well, as always, and you have definitely a track record of creating some really good reading content and helping people to become bestsellers. So how did you get involved with this project?
Well, Misty and I have been friends for quite some time, and she decided that she wanted to do an anthology. And so she approached me on it. And actually, I turned her down at first, and sent her away, and she ended up circling back around, and so we started working together. It's a first one, and so I know how it was doing my first one by myself. And it wasn't easy, and it was pretty aggravating, because you want everything to be fabulous for your authors and you don't want to let them down. And those were like Misty's exact words. She's like, I just want it to be great for my authors and I don't want to let them down. And so, once she said that, I was in. I'm like, okay, we're going to take care of this. So we did.
Absolutely. So your chapter in the book, tell us about.
My chapter is Mind Over Matter, and it just a teeny bit about it, because my chapter is a little bit short. I just kind of gave a little bit of tidbit in there. My chapter is about my beginnings, and having my son just barely turning 18. I had my son, and so I didn't finish school, and I dropped out of high school after my sophomore year, and I was a mom very soon thereafter. So, no college education, not even the high school, not the diploma even. So, once I got pregnant, my support system, my family, not all of them, but some of them, friends, family, all said, you know what, your life is over now. You're finished. You have become another teenage statistic. You'll never amount to anything. Your life is over. And so I believed them for like the first 6 years of my son's life. I believed that because when people that are your support system and people that are that close to you, and they're the people that you love and respect the most, when they tell you something like that, you're like, well, it must be true. It must be true. And so then after he turned 6, right around 5 or 6, I got a job as a telemarketer, and I figured out that I really loved it, and I figured out that I was good at it. And so that mindset just started to shift. It started to shift into thinking, well, maybe I can do something. And so from there on, I was constantly trying to scratch my way up that corporate ladder, because I just knew there was more. And it was so exciting to me, because I had been sitting at home receiving a welfare check and food stamps for the last 6 years. And, I thought that's just the way it was going to be. But when my mindset changed, my entire life changed. When I decided not to believe them anymore, when I decided that I could do and be whatever I wanted to be, I ended up working my way up in that company, and it's one of the biggest companies in the world. And I worked my way up within about 5-6 years. I started at $8 an hour, which back in the early 90s, late 80s, that was a lot of money. So $8 an hour, and I worked my way up to $250,000 a year with no college education and no high school. Well, I did have a high school diploma, because I went back to school when my son was 2. I went back to night school and got an actual diploma, because I didn't want a GED. So that's kind of what my story is about. So it's mind over matter, starting out as the underdog and believing what people say to us, and then, just persevering and, letting our own mind come into play, and just forget what they told you. It's all about forgetting what they told you, no matter what it is in a negative fashion. Just forget what they told you and just do you. So that's what my chapter is about.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yes.
I look forward to reading that.
Absolutely. And it's so true. And I think you came from that era when, a person having a baby without a husband was like a doomsday.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were shunned, you was treated less than human. it was an awful era for women in general, you know.
Yeah, it was everything for women was totally taboo.
Mhm.
Just about in the workplace. I mean, even working my way up in that company, it was predominantly the marketplace at that point in time. Anybody in those higher management positions, it was predominantly white males.
Mhm.
And so, it was like, and when they started to realize that, and they were diversifying, they diversified into things, with other minorities aside from women. And so, it went to males. And so when they diversified, it went to Black males, Hispanic males, and things like that, all different ethnicities, but still male. And so, and then after that, and they decided, well, maybe that's not great. And then they went to diversifying with different ethnicities of women. However, at that point in time, a Caucasian woman was the very last choice. So it took me longer than most to get to where I was going, just because, like you said, things were still so taboo in that era. We think back on it and don't realize it until now. But yeah, that teenage pregnancy thing, that was in my mother. My parents were older, so they were from a whole nother generation. So it really was taboo.
Yeah, that whole mindset.
Yeah, that probably happened to them. Because I know
Mhm.
when my mother got pregnant, she wasn't married. And oh my God,
Yes.
and this was back in the what 40s?
Oh Lord, yes.
Yeah, you're talking, way back then when,
Yeah.
my mother was married, but both of her sisters were not. And they carried that with them all their lives.
Mhm.
So imagine, my mother was born in 1916.
Yeah.
So imagine the 1920s.
Right.
Right.
To get pregnant at that time, it was almost a death sentence as far
Yeah.
as life. And in essence, we really haven't come that far because women are still, we're still put under the gun. We're put
Mhm.
under the gun. We have to measure up, which is why I think so many women have decided to go out on their own. Just like
Yes.
you, Dawn, you've created something of your own because it is so much preferable than having to deal within that whole arena. You
Right.
still have to deal with
I-
it, but
I
at
could-
least you're coming from you're firm where you are. You have
Right.
like your feet are in concrete for where you are, and they have
Right.
to come to you.
Yeah, it's just a matter of dancing to your own tune. And I just couldn't dance to corporate America's tune anymore. And so yes, people look at me and they make comments and they say, making that kind of money, having the position that you had, you must be crazy. You must be out of your mind. The bottom line is that at that point, when I did leave that position, I had to leave the position to keep my mind.
Mhm.
That's the difference. And so my own inner peace is way more valuable and precious to me than any amount of money. And so that's what people don't get. It's not all about the money when you are so stressed and sick every morning when you have to get up and go to work, or
About
sick
that.
every time your phone rings. So yeah, I'm blessed now. I am blessed.
Yes,
Definitely.
you are. Yes, you are.
Really
And
blessed so many other people by the work that you do now, because you're bringing people, giving people the opportunity, women the opportunity to tell their stories. And those stories are impacting lives.
Thank you so
So
much.
thank you for the work that you do.
yes, thank you, because I mean, just through you, we've met some amazing women.
Oh.
We've gotten to share their stories on our TV channel, on all of our platforms. And just because you decided to dance to your own tune.
Thank you. And I love you too, because you always give the opportunities. And you know, your show and the both of you, you and Ruth both, you are contributing to those opportunities. You are letting voices be heard. And so just as much a blessing you both are to all of these women and some men and some great men. So yeah, definitely. Everybody loves Ida's show. So you all are definitely blessing people on a weekly basis, you know, when given the opportunity to, you know, let their voice be heard. And so without people like women like both of you, it wouldn't be happening, you know. And so what's the point of getting in a book and you know, pouring your heart out and no one knows about it? It's kind of like, I liken it to, without the visibility and without your voice being heard, I liken it to having this big huge party and having all of the plans all set and all the food and the band and all this stuff, and not send out any invitations. How many people do you think are going to show up? No one's coming to the party. And so what you all do enable these authors to get the word out there, and the different things that they are doing from this visibility is absolutely amazing. So it opens doors that otherwise wouldn't be open. So thank you both.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Well, Dawn, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do so? We all know Dawn is all over social media.
I am, and I often joke that my phone is an extension of my arm versus my hand. So the easiest way to get a hold of me really is Facebook Messenger, because that's like an immediate, I always see it and I can respond more quickly than email. So I am on Facebook as well as Instagram under my name, Dawn Leek.
Yes. Well, it's always a pleasure, you already know. And we are looking forward to more collaborations, and we know that's going to happen sooner than later.
Yes.
We definitely appreciate you and definitely honored to be a part of your vision, and what you do helps us do what we do. So
great. That's what it's all about. That is
share the crown.
Collaboration, share that crown. Yes.
Absolutely. So thank you, my dear.
Thank
We will
you.
talk soon.
Okay.
Misty Stevenson is the best-selling visionary author of Elevated Rise of the Underdog. She is a community advocate, leader, blogger, influencer, and CEO of Sophisticated Elite Decor, as well as carrying the mantle of registered nurse and a proud member of the illustrious sisterhood, Delta Sigma Theta. Welcome, Misty.
Yes, my dear. Unmute yourself, sweetie.
Hi, sorry about that.
Hey, that's okay. How are you, Misty? And
I'm doing great.
good. Wow. These ladies in this book are the bomb.com, to say the least.
Yes.
So let me ask you, what made you want to do this book?
Well, I was actually going on my newest business venture, which was opening up a interior decorating company. And so I was sort of kind of apprehensive, because I was thinking, you know, can I do this? Should I do this? You know, I was just thinking, you know, how you get those negative thoughts in your head. I'm not sure if I can do this, you know, so I was sort of kind of just backing up a minute. I thought about other hurdles that I crossed in the past and how I overcame them. So that's what sort of led me to the book, Elevated, The Rise of the Underdog. And so I wanted other women to have a voice. And that's what led it to become an anthology. So.
Wow. I mean, we've interviewed quite a few of the authors, and I'm telling you, they are some amazing ladies. Some of the stories that we heard, the motivation behind being a part of the book was just phenomenal. And what I like about books like this is that it brings light to real people that went through real stuff. And because of that, other people are able to shine. Other people are able to get through whatever they're going through because of the real people. So I
That's right.
really like that. And, and what I also heard with most of the authors was God was definitely in everybody's life. And they knew that in order to get through it, they had to go to him first.
Absolutely. Well, that's where the word elevated comes from, because there had to have been somebody that elevated us. It wasn't just me, myself, and I, or I guess some other human being. It was definitely God. I know for me. Yes, absolutely.
You can always tell when God is the one who's doing the work.
That's right.
It works out perfectly. Maybe not come immediately, and there are rough bumps and everything else, but you can just tell there's a difference in the way things work out.
Absolutely.
You feel like, okay, once everything's in place, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can see where God's hands were in the mix. How he's kind of arranged things perfectly.
Yes, for sure. So tell us a little bit about the other ventures you have.
So my venture was to open up the decorating company, in which I did do that, and it's amazing. That was my passion. I've been a nurse for 21 years. I've never done anything else other than nursing. Actually, my mom's a nurse. So it was definitely stepping out on a limb. Decorating is something that just comes to me as a talent. And I remember asking God, what's my talent, God? What's my talent? What's my purpose? What is it that I do? I can't sing. I can't dance. What can I do? And, I never thought it was decorating. People would come to my home and they'd say, you have a beautiful home. And they were saying this even when I was 19. I had my, first apartment, and, I never thought that I could actually make money doing it. And I never thought to even charge anybody to do it, because I would do it for free. So when I stepped out and decided to do it, and I started making money from it, that's what I said, well, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and see how this works for me, especially, after I spoke with God, and everything just started working out. And so again, I had those negative thoughts in my head. This isn't gonna work. Who's gonna hire you? You're gonna starve to death. It's just, all those little negative thoughts that you get. And then, like I said, I thought about all of my other hurdles and things that I crossed, and where God was in the midst, like Miss Ruth said, and he just, I mean, there were times he carried me, and I know that if he gave me this as a desire in my heart, and after I had asked him to show me my purpose, my talent, I knew that this was definitely him, not me. So it's a wonderful thing. I'm glad that I stepped out on faith, and the book, I mean, that just sort of kind of came out of nowhere. The authors are amazing. So yeah,
they are. And I see why, because you're amazing.
Thank
Absolutely.
You.
And you talked about your gift. You was doing it. And one of the things I heard you say is you would decorate for free. And one of the things that I know, when it's a gift and you're supposed to be doing it, you'll do it for nothing.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like work.
Right.
It never feels like work.
Because it's your passion. It's what you love doing, and you just do it.
It just comes to me, and I couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more thankful. That too, I get from my mom. My mom's a natural decorator. We've never been to a design class, never had any type of formal training. It just comes to us. So I am thankful.
Yes. And that's the gifts. God gave us something, all of us, something.
Yeah.
And I believe that if we leave this earth and we haven't used it, he is not going to be happy with that.
No.
I believe that with all my heart.
I tell people that all the time. I say, I want to leave empty. I want to leave empty. I want to give it all away. I want to give it all away. If I have a lesson to be taught, if I can help somebody, I want to give it all away before I leave here.
I know that's right. Because you can't take it with you anyhow.
I
Uh,
can't. True. True.
Absolutely. Well, so how do people get in touch with you for your services?
Well, several ways actually. I have an Instagram page where I'm actually a lifestyle blogger, and it's called The Melanated Homemaker. And it is on Instagram. It's actually The Melanated Homemaker Life. And so they can contact me on Instagram, or they can find me on Facebook under Misty Stevenson. Or you can email me at elevatewithmisty@yahoo.com.
okay.
Right. Wow. This has been so awesome. Meeting all of the authors, and I'm telling you, this show is so, what can I say? Before I get on, sometimes I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling, all different kinds of moods going on. As soon as I connect with people like you, it's like I forget about all my woes and anything that happened during the day. And it's like, oh my God. And then I leave the show, I'm smiling because I've been in all this. It's just a beautiful thing. And we just enjoy doing this and meeting people like yourself. So thank you so much for gracing our platform. We are highly appreciative.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. You ladies have made my heart dance. This has been an awesome collaboration. Misty, I want to thank you for your vision, because we met some beautiful women and heard some serious stories that we know is going to change some lives. So anybody, last word you want to say before we go off the air? Don't y'all all shout at once.
Well, I will say, stand firm in who you are. Always, always go to God with everything. And if he places that desire in your heart, fight for it. Fight for it, because it is already yours.
Wow. Amen to that. And I like that you said go to God first.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've tested that theory. When I try to do it, it's a terrible mess. Every time, not one time, every time. So now I'm to the point where, like, if I misplace something, God, you know where my glasses are. God, you know where I put my keys. Somehow just walk right to it.
Yes.
So we want to definitely thank all of you, and definitely, ladies and gentlemen, get the book. It is definitely worth the read, and it will change your life. And we definitely thank you all for your courage to put your stories out there to change somebody's lives, because we know that when you put your, let's say, laundry out, it's an emotional thing. It's an emotional thing. And then once you put it out, then you still second guess it. Should I have wrote that? So for you ladies to do something like that, it is definitely huge. And we definitely appreciate your courage to put it out there. And we look forward to whatever God has next for you, because there's a next. And to keep going forward and using your voice and your words to save lives, because at the end of the day, we're not here for ourselves, we're here for others. Thank you. Ruth, you got anything you want to say?
No, it was wonderful meeting each and every one of you. Misty, thank you for being the visionary, for putting this together. Dawn, for your bringing together so many wonderful people to create these books that have stories that absolutely are healing, because so often the only way we gain healing is to hear our stories come out of someone else's mouth. And then we identify with it and we say, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who has gone through these things. Somebody else not only has gone through them, but they've come out on the other side. And I can too. So thank you all very, very much, as Ida said, for your courage. You are to be highly commended. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.